This is trial and error. Trial and error. You know what? This ain't the first tape, but need money about to ace it now. This is a story all about how my report got flipped upside down. You're all in worry block. Just sit right there. I'll tell you the story, how we got on the air. In the seacoast, born and raised, the wall is where we spend most of our days. Chilling out, surfing, relaxing all cool, shooting some b-ball with the bull. When a couple of seniors who were up to no good started shot McGowan in our neighborhood. I got one ISS and my mama got scared. She said, "You're moving to the school show live, on air." I whistled for D-Rob, and when he came near, he looked super fresh and washed away my fear. If anything, I could say this guy was cooler than me, but I thought, nah, forget it. Yo, Holmes, WHTV. I pulled up to A111 about 7 or 8 and yelled, "D-Rob, you'll smell you later." I looked at the studio, could finally see we were all gonna produce WHTV.
Hey, Winnicott.
What's up, babies?
Glad to be back for another episode.
Glad or gladiators?
What are you talking about?
Oh, only the greatest era of sports the world has ever seen.
But what's a gladiator?
Are you kidding me? It's one-to-one combat, sometimes only with a lion, Catherine.
Oh, like Michaud versus Michaud.
What?
Mr. and Miss Michaud had a one-on-one math competition.
I guess that's similar.
Did gladiators do math too?
What? No. Let's just watch the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show, Sports Hub.
I'm your very own Winnicott sports analyst, John Rooney, and I'm joined by Braxton Zilkowski, our color commentator.
And that's right, John. We have everything your average sport network does with your not-so-average sports stories.
Absolutely right, Braxton. And this week, 2 teachers competed for mathematical dominance in our Winnicott Stadium.
Yes, B102, I think they call it. But either way, let's break down today's tale of the tape.
Competitor number 1 is Mr. Michaud. Great guy, very skilled in both calculus and algebra-based math. Not to mention his talent of writing backwards. We got a real workhorse out there, Braxton.
Hey, well, we can't count out today's challenger, Miss Michaud. As a southpaw out of Villanova, I give her the writing edge. Very competitive, a strong analytical thinker. I'm eager to see what she'll do out there today.
And we can't forget to mention those marker stats, Braxton. Mr. Michaud averages a whole box of markers more a week than his competitor.
Well, this may give him an edge with mathematical endurance, John, but something about Miss Michaud's overall style could be a real disrupting factor in today's matchup.
Enough of the chatter. Let's get our first look at this event. No hocus pocus here, folks. Just absolute focus out of our competitors.
I believe it, John. We got a real barn burner on our hands. Yeah, the electricity in the room is intense. Yes, they're gonna need to solve by isolating that variable. Mr. Michaud here is dialing it in, attempting to implement the power rule.
And boom goes the dynamite, Braxton. He drops that 2 down in front of the y and adds the dy over dx.
Beautiful display out on the field today. He's getting ready now to divide both sides by the same number.
Indeed, this is the final step to isolate the answer variable.
Shebang, he's dividing, and he does it. To play the game, let's look at that one a little bit closer.
What a play! Flawlessly executed as the variable is canceled out on one side and moved to the other.
My eyes are glued to the screen. This is a technique used and trusted by many math teachers in the league. Not to mention the total confidence radiating off this guy. He has it in the bag.
Mrs. Michaud is still rounding out her variable.
Oh, shabam, Mr. M with the marker drop. I think he has an answer.
Hold ye horses, something has happened on the field.
We're calling back in for a review. I cannot believe it, folks.
Mr. Michaud has forgotten to use parentheses and his play is going to the booth.
Now, let me just say this was a real rookie mistake on the math veteran's part.
Goes to show how pressure can get under your skin.
Mrs. M was really playing the patient game here and took time to use parentheses around step 2 of her equation.
That really set her up for success when she went to divide. It secured her final answer and not rushed in the moment.
Hot dog. This match was crazier than I think anyone expected. The crowd is insane.
You know what they say. It's not about how fast you get there, it's about using parentheses on the way.
You know what, John? We'll go with it. Pick that marker back up, Mr. Michaud, and hit the textbooks. Miss Michaud is our champ.
Congrats, and might I add, quite the celebration. Overall, great effort by both teachers and a tremendous display of mental toughness, Braxton.
John. I'm tongue-tied too, man. All that hard work and dedication in the classroom really goes a long way out on the field.
As far as I'm concerned, teaching is a sport.
Agreed, my cunning colleague. And well, that's all we have for you today, Winnicunnin. I want you to tune in next week when we break down Mr. Fleming's top 5 civic duties. Braxton and John,
Signing out.
Wow, that was quite a battle, but nothing close to those gladiators.
I didn't even know Mr. Michaud taught math. I thought he only did Winnichronicle.
No, he teaches math too, but Winnichronicle did just have a very successful trip to Boston. On Friday, May 4th, Winnichronicle attended the New England Scholastic Press Association event held at the Boston University. The day was spent working with several different journalism techniques, and in the end, Winnichronicle received 4 awards from the association. 2 of those awards went to John Rooney, one for news page design and one for sports story covering at the NH Gatorade Player of the Year award that was given to Billy Powers. Another award went to Devin Sack for photo illustration, and the group received the highest achievement award for the overall newspaper. Congratulations to the group for their success.
That's awesome. It's cool that he teaches Winnichronicle and math too.
Yeah, it's pretty tight, but I'm more of a social studies guy myself.
Yeah, you seem like the type.
Actually, back in the day, I did help out Mr. Wallace teach one of his classes. For those few months, I really felt like I was part of that crew.
What crew?
The social studies crew.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty cool.
Pretty cool? They're scientifically proven to be the dopest department in the school. Carter sent it to the upper C wing to get the scoop. Let's check it out.
At Winnicunnin, teachers make up the different departments: science, math, English. However, there's one department that reigns supreme over all the others: the social studies department. To my surprise, this was not as clear with the student body.
Math.
Department?
Yeah.
Is that a department? Gym. I don't think that's a department.
I gotta give it to the English wing. You know, shout out Miss Borden.
I don't know. Stop.
I think science.
I don't know that that's necessarily true.
I agree, Mr. Fleming. So I think it's time we got a closer look at the social studies department.
I think we're a pretty tight-knit group. We like to laugh with each other and we like to learn from each other, and we're always discussing all the most current events in history, but also, you know, whatever's funny.
The social studies department has always been a tight-knit group who always have each other's backs.
One thing that I love about being in this department is that we all really look out for each other, and you know, we eat lunch together, and we just have a fun time.
However, like all humans, they go through their own hardships and tragedies.
I just lost 2 cats end of last year, beginning of this year, and then I have 2 more. So Abigail and Cyan are the 2 I currently have. They're my children.
Unique to their department, they operate like a family unit.
Dad of the department?
No, I think the dad. I think Mr. Fleming's definitely the dad.
I don't know that that's necessarily true.
Who's the most handsome person?
I'm not gonna comment on that one.
I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, don't you?
They are no strangers to messing around with one another.
Always kind of makes me laugh is that the social studies teachers like to pick on me for not having ever seen any movies. Like, I mean, I've seen movies, but
we exclusively speak in movie quotes.
There are a lot of like classics or really important cultural movies that I've missed, like E.T.
By not knowing any movies, we can say secret messages to each other and she doesn't know what we're talking about.
They have kind of a running bit about how I don't know about any kind of pop culture stuff, and so that's always kind of funny.
Above all, their passion are the kids.
Just kind of getting to work with young people.
Yeah.
And kind of talk about what's going on in the world.
The most rewarding part about being a teacher is when a student just really gets excited about something that you're covering in class, and you hear them talk about it outside of class, or you hear that they went home and asked their parents about it or looked something extra up, and that just makes me feel really excited to do my job.
They come in here every day just ready to soak up like a sponge all the knowledge. I mean, look at them.
We're eager to learn.
Sponges. Yeah. Sponges, all of them.
The newest member of the group, Jake Goldstein, was afraid he'd have a hard time assimilating into the group.
Yeah, I've been ostracized my whole life. I was really afraid that I wasn't going to fit in, so I'm very happy that they've embraced me, except Mr. O'Brien's been very mean to me.
I don't like him.
So now that you know some of the social studies teachers a little better, which is the best department?
Social study wing.
Social studies.
I'd have to go with social studies.
Yeah. The social studies department.
I'd say social studies.
Social studies.
I'll give it
Social studies. I don't know. I don't really like class.
Social studies does seem like they have a pretty cool thing going.
I wish I had a bunch of friends like that so we could just go hang out and talk about history.
Well, then you'd love the Renaissance Fair. The 14th Annual New Hampshire Renaissance Fair was held these past 2 weekends at a new location in Fremont, New Hampshire. The fair had a friendly, family-fun environment where everyone who attended was transported back to the Renaissance era. With knights fighting, horses jousting, plenty of shopping, and even unicorns, the fair was a great time for all. Winnacunnet presents included Queen Mrs. Bernier, the General Manager Mr. Bernier, and sophomore Maggie Brandt, who was part of the Queen's Court. Winnacunnet students also attended to check out the event. All the proceeds are donated to the New Hampshire Food Bank and Rockingham Meals on Wheels. If you missed it this year, mark your calendars now for next year's fair.
Wow, that was some pretty cool stuff. Intense, cool stuff.
Yeah, kind of like that gladiator stuff you were talking about earlier.
Catherine, do you even understand the concept of a gladiator?
Yes, I do. It's kind of like Assassin.
No, not at all.
Yes, it is. Hayden and I did a story on this year's game, and I bet it's
Assassin. Assassin is played by high schools and colleges in the springtime. The goal of the game is, you and a partner are given targets that you must get out by shooting them with a water gun before the end of the round. The game has many other rules, mainly no gameplay on or near school premise, and shooting people in cars is off limits. To find out more about the rules and the game, we talked to Assassin commissioners Billy Powers and Mitchell Privé.
The rules were pretty simple. Everything was based around just keeping it, safe, legal, both law-wise and school rule-wise, and yeah, just making it so it can be fun and safe at the same time. We're just trying to keep it as low-key as possible. Like any rule breaking, basically, like anything that goes against the rules is pretty much automatic elimination, like right on the spot.
Although the school has absolutely no association with the game Assassin, we talked to Detective DeLuca to find out his perspective from a law enforcement side.
There's been no issues at all in the town of Hampton that I know of. I heard in other towns that might be a little bit different. We actually talked to 2 of the seniors that organized it. We did that only as a courtesy, well, they did it as a courtesy so that nothing would happen on school grounds, and they talked to me in particular because we wanted to make sure it was safe in the community. They made sure that the squirt guns that they were using were multicolored or brightly colored squirt guns, and they didn't appear to be real guns, and that was my biggest concern.
Because of the rules set and enforced by Mitchell and Billy, they've been able to keep the game just how they want it, safe and fun. But around the country, some areas haven't been so safe, and police have had to step in and shut the game down.
There's some like the basic rules, like nothing to do with school property, like nothing, no school events, you can't impede anyone from being late to school, so you gotta let them leave their house at 7:25, and you just gotta be smart.
We started off with about 54 teams. Right now, we're looking at $540 for the winning team.
Everything's gone great this year. I haven't heard of one thing from patrol. I haven't heard of one thing from the school administration that was a problem. So good luck and have fun.
Be smart,
yeah.
Be safe, and have fun.
Yeah, cool story, but still nothing like gladiators.
Maybe you have the wrong idea of gladiators.
No, I don't. There's not a chance I have the wrong idea about gladiators.
Anyway, that's all we have for you today, Winnacunnet.
And this screen says addle with nothing afterwards, so I will ad-lib my outro. Later, Winnacunnet! That's how we're ending this episode. Why was it tucked in? Now I can see it. Dude, look where I am. You need to move the camera, physically move it over here. Congratulations to the group for their success. even though they're our rivals, and we will destroy them. Carter sent it to the up to the downstairs.
Boy, your one song keeps like glitching out and like.
She hears only whispers of some quiet conversation.